energy norms and implementation of that? How has that changed life for Bajaj Electricals? Anuj, good morning. Thank you for joining us. The new energy efficiency reforms. I mean, this is something which is centered around using less power, more efficiency, less power but more light. How has that changed life for Bajaj Electricals?
Morning, Nikunj. Thank you for having me. I presume you're referring particularly to the fans because that's undergoing this regime change with the new star ratings for energy efficiency kicking in on 1st of January. We all geared for that. We will see a sea change in the industry where almost all fans will move to this new star rating regime with some transition that will happen in the marketplace. I think it's good in the long run, both for consumers, for us as organized players in the industry, and for the government who's pushing the energy efficiency criteria. That said, in the short term, you will see a lot of volatility in the marketplace. There is legacy inventory that is there in the marketplace. There will be some price caps between the new set of energy efficient fans and the old legacy fans. And I think it will take anything between 3 to 6 months for this to play out in the marketplace and for things to settle down. Till then, there's some volatility, but I think that's good for all of us.
What are the dynamics in terms of the general affordability trends and how the consumer behavior is shaping up for the entire white good industry?
So that I unfortunately do not have good news. I think right from Q2 and this Q3, which is festive period, post Diwali too, demand trends have been weak across the board, and that's similar commentary that I'm picking up from industry peers and any other FMCG conversations that I picked up. It's also both rural and urban, except for a very small sliver of premium consumer and premium target groups. That said, the couple of other factors that I'm really looking at is the macroeconomic data in terms of jobs, what's happening in terms of rural cropping patterns, etc. So I think some of those underlying parameters seem to be pointing in a positive direction, which means another 3 to 4 months out. So I'm yet holding out for a quarter. You should see the positive momentum on that. Just one bit I'll add, Nikunj, because we are in winter or supposedly winter, though in Mumbai it does not feel like winter. I think we've had a late onset of winter. Last couple of days in North India, you're starting to see some temperatures dipping. And I say this again in the context of our heaters category, room heaters in particular. We are finally starting to see some traction in that in the last couple of days. Till then, we were a little concerned about what would happen if winter was to really get much more delayed.
Yeah, not that severe, at least not as of now. But Anuj, also tell me, how has your winter portfolio mix performed so far this quarter?
Yeah, so that's what I was alluding to. Water heaters, fortunately, does start moving off earlier itself. Does not really wait for really cold temperatures. But room heaters, which is also important for us, that really waits for the cold to hit in. Like I said, Bombay, of course, is not a big market. We're actually feeling like it's in summer here. But North India has been a much delayed onset of winter this year. In the last couple of days, at least, we're starting to see some sign of traction on the tertiary or end retail sales. And assuming winter lasts out till end Feb, early March, then we should have a reasonably decent season. Right now, we're just starting to see the movement on that.
Tell me how, keeping in mind the fall in commodity prices, would your margins look like compared to the first half?
So it's a mixed bag compared to first half. Yes, we should be better. But will we be as good as we anticipated 3 months ago? Maybe not. And that's simply a function of the volumes growth not happening or the operating leverage not kicking in. So had that kicked in, we would have had the full benefit of that. I think there's a bit of headwind on the demand and volumes and therefore operating deleverage being partly compensated by the cost side coming down. So it's kind of going to even out, not be as buoyant as I would have liked it to be.
If I could also ask you to maybe elaborate a bit more on that when we talk about demand and consumerism, particularly in the rural markets. You have been on record to say in the last earnings call as well that a good, crop, the hike in MSP will all augur well for Bajaj Electricals.
Yes. So, but we are yet to see that translate to actual spending. I can firstly put out some data, and we've been tracking that. While the monsoon on an aggregate basis has been good, it's not been even on a geographical basis across India. So there are states, particularly key states, that have not seen good monsoons necessarily. While the MSP, etc., has kicked in, I think there's yet, what should I say, a legacy impact of inflation that is hurting the pockets and the spending power of rural India. So I think we need to see another 3 to 4 months of that kind of play out, where people are coming out of the shock of inflation. And for me, we are what we do quite simply is look at FMCG. The first, the Sabun Tel shampoo was to start selling. I need to see positive commentary from my FMCG brethren, and then I know we should see demand for our segment. Right now, the commentary from FMCG itself for rural is not that strong. So we're looking at both of these markers, the economic data and the commentary from FMCG, to see when we can expect that to translate to demand for us.
To wrap it up with one simple analysis, you're not sounding very optimistic about the consumer demand. But if I look at other categories, luxury car sales, if I look at retail, if I look at hospitality, a lot of these sectors are going through unprecedented boom. When I speak to hotel companies, they're telling us Indians are spending like never before. When I speak to mall owners, they're telling us footfalls are like never before. Are you getting a sense that somewhere the spending basket of Indians is changing, where white goods was a large component that has shifted to, let's say, travel, hospitality, food, other services?
Nikunj, I would say there's two factors at play here. One is, it's not so much spending basket as opposed to segment of consumer we're talking about. So we talk about airline, hotels, eating out, premium cars. That's a very small segment of a mass Indian consumers. We are talking about FMCG or our category of durables. We're talking about, the 400 million population. That's not the segment that really is into these premium cars, right? And that's what we need to see kick in for mass scale demand to kick in. So clearly there is, and I started by saying that at the premium end, the upper class of consumers, that is, is spending well. The second part really that I say is it's a bit of, yes, there is vengeance or backlash. They've had 2 years of not traveling enough, etc. And look at what's happening at the airports, etc. So of course there is a lot of travel catch up that's happening. But I would yet, be a little, what should I say, calibrated in saying that's not reflective of the mass, actual widespread consumer demand situation in the country.
Anuj, I'd like to build on what Nikunj just asked you as well, when we talk about consumerism, where you're not sounding very optimistic in the categories. Now, you are also on record to say you want to increase your profits by 1 percentage point every year, and that you're going to try and reposition the brand to becoming more premium. We, for example, also saw a licensing agreement recently with Murphy Richards. How exactly is the repositioning take place? When you reposition, is the same brand that's going to be a mass market brand as well as a premium brand? Because usually, it's done separately.
So good question. Thank you for asking that. That part is fully on track. Our commitment to keep expanding our margins from our baseline and reposition our brand, we're very much on track. And I would like to highlight our mother flagship brand remains a Bajaj brand. We have repositioned that. We came out in October end with a large campaign called Bajaj Built for Life, which is, I think, a historic one in our own journey. It is the repositioning of the Bajaj brand as a far more aspirational, far more targeted brand serving a core purpose in the consumers. If you've got those, campaigns in any form, it reflects a much more younger, more vibrant, more contemporary, more aspirational avatar of the brand. And when we say that, our ability to straddle with that brand across multiple price points is very strong. So we will come up from just being a pure value for money brand to being a brand that straddles multiple price points while yet, having a very strong core ethos. And that's what that repositioning really is all about. And on the back of that, we are expanding our product portfolio, which we've done. Take any category, whether it's fans, whether it's lighting, whether it's kitchen appliances, whether it's water heaters, irons, etc. We have introduced more product segments and more products itself, which actually we did not have earlier. We do cater to the slightly more discerning consumers too. So that's why we remain confident on our leave aside the noise around the current demand situation, whether it's 1 quarter, 2 quarters. Our trajectory strategically remains very much on track there.
Right. Anuj, great to have you today on ET Now, and here's wishing you a very happy and prosperous new year from all of us.
Thank you very much. Wish the ET Now team the same.
Thank you so much.